Very good morning to everyone. And let's begin today's session with this thought that you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your identity. So let me say that again. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your identity. So, with that, I have a small question for you. And I want you to answer it honestly, not out loud, just in your heart. That will do. And the question is, who are you? Yes. I'm not asking your name. I'm not asking your designation, not your relationship to someone else, not somebody's mother or somebody's husband or the person who works in that office. I mean, who do you believe yourself to be at your core when no one is watching, when the rules are set aside and it is just you alone with yourself? Think about it. It might not be as easy to answer as it sounds. Because here is something most of us have never been told. The answer to that question, the story you carry about yourself quietly, invisibly, is not just a thought. It's a force. It is actively shaping every decision you make, every habit you keep, every opportunity you reach for or walk away from. So today, we are going to look at that story and we are going to ask whether it is still the one you want to be living. So today, we talk about your identity shapes your reality. So, have you ever noticed the thermostat in an air conditioned room? You set it to 24 degrees, and no matter what happens in that room, whether 10 people walk in, whether the sun is blazing outside, whether the door is opened and closed 100 times, the thermostat keeps pulling the temperature back to 24, always back to its setting. It doesn't negotiate, it doesn't get distracted, it doesn't forget. It simply keeps returning to the one number it believes it is supposed to maintain. Our identity works exactly like that thermostat. Whatever we deeply believe about ourselves, that is our setting. And no matter what goals we set, what plans we make, what resolutions we write in Jan, our behavior will keep finding its way back to that setting, back to who we believe we are. Which means if you want to change your life, you don't start with your goals, you start with your setting, you start with your identity. So let's meet Shalini. She's 43, hardworking, intelligent, respected by her team. For years, she has wanted to get healthier, eat better, exercise, lose some weight. She has tried diets. She has downloaded apps. She has bought 3 different pairs of running shoes, each with great intention and brief usage. Every Monday she begins. Every Thursday she stops. And every Friday she tells herself, I'm just not a disciplined person. And there it is, that one sentence. That is not a fact. That is a thermostat setting. That I'm not a disciplined person is an identity. And as long as Shalini holds that identity, no diet, no app, no expensive gym membership will stick because her behavior will always drift back to match who she believes she is. But what if, just what if, Shalini started saying something different to herself? Not I'm trying to lose weight, but I am becoming someone who takes care of a body. Different words, entirely different thermostat setting, and over time, entirely different life. And now, let's meet Girija. She is 58, raised three children, managed a household, somewhere along the way, absorbed a very particular identity. मैं तो सिर्फ घर वाली हूँ. I'm just a homemaker. That just again, that small devastating word. So Girija's daughter keeps encouraging her to share her extraordinary cooking. Maybe a YouTube channel, maybe a cooking class for the ladies in the colony. And every time Girija laughs, and कौन देखेगा मुझे? मैं कोई celebrity नहीं हूँ. But Girija's identity has already made the decision for her before her daughter even finishes the sentence. Because if you believe you are just something, your action will always stay just inside that boundary. What would change if Girija's identity shifted just slightly from I am a homemaker to I am a keeper of culture, a teacher of taste, a woman whose knowledge deserves to be shared? Everything, everything would change. And then let's meet Suresh. He's 61, retired government officer, brilliant mind, genuinely warm heart. Suresh carries an identity that was handed to him decades ago and that he was never once questioned. That men in our family don't show weakness. We don't ask for help. We manage everything ourselves silently. So when Suresh's knees hurt, he doesn't tell anyone. When he's lonely since retirement, he doesn't say so. When he's struggling, he performs fine with Oscar winning commitment. That identity, unexamined, inherited, never chosen, is quietly costing Suresh his health, his relationships, and his peace. What if Suresh gave himself permission to try on a new identity? Not weakness, wisdom. I'm a man secure enough to ask for what I need. And that is not less strength. That is a different, deeper kind of strength. And here is what I want you to understand today. Really understand, not just here. Your identity is not fixed. It was not handed to you at birth, carved in stone, never to be questioned. It was built slowly across years from what people told you, from what happened to you, for what you told yourself in your most vulnerable moments, which means it can be rebuilt. Yes, not all at once, of course, not dramatically, but one small, deliberate, daily act at a time. Because identity is not who you say you are in a moment of inspiration. Identity is who you prove yourself to be through your actions day after day. Every time a writer sits down to write, she becomes more of a writer. Every time a man asks for help, he becomes more of someone who values connection over ego. And every time a woman claims her knowledge and shares it, she becomes more of a teacher. You don't find a new identity, you build it, one aligned action at a time. So let's get to today's exercise, today's reflection. One sentence. Please pick up your pen and paper, and I want you to take it home, sit with it tonight. The sentence is I am becoming someone who, and complete the sentence. I repeat, I am becoming someone who, and then fill in the blank. Not with what you want to achieve, with who you want to become. A patient person, a healthy person, a creative person, or a courageous one, or a person who speaks up, or rests without guilt, or learns without shame. Write it down. Say it to yourself. And then today, before this day is over, take one action that the person in that sentence would take. Of course, not a perfect action. That is not expected. Not a big action. Not needed. Just one action that is aligned with the identity you are choosing. Because that is how it begins. Not with a resolution, with the decision about who you are. So, to close with something that I hope stays with you long after day. You've been many things to many people across your life: a child, a student, a spouse, a parent, a professional, a caregiver. So, you have worn many identities, some chosen, many inherited, a few outgrown. But today, right now, in this room, you have the rarest of opportunities, the opportunity to look at the story you are carrying and ask, is this still mine? Is this still true? Is this the identity I would choose if I were choosing deliberately? And if the answer is no, then today is the day you begin writing a new one. Not someday, not after things change, today. Because things don't change first and then you change. You change first and then the world adjusts to match you. So your reality is not something that happens to you, it's a reflection of who you believe yourself to be. I can say, change the belief, change the identity, watch the world rearrange itself around the new you. You're not who you were. You are who you were becoming. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.